Hello, Fab-U ladies. My name is Carla Gardner. I'm the owner and founder of the Fiery Grandmas Flab-U-Less at Clubhouse. And today starts something that I am really excited about, and that is our brand new Member in the Spotlight interview series where a couple times a month we're trying to go live, but maybe we'll just record them and post the link for you ladies of members who have gifts that we all can use in our health journey, weight loss journey, and finding ourselves. We all have special gifts, and without further ado, let's get into our very first guest, Maggie Rossiter. Maggie is a retired nurse. She is a loud and shameless health advocate who is teaching women who have been abandoned in menopause and gained weight. She understands why we can't sleep, why we cry at nothing, and we have that numbing brain fog. Excuse me. Maggie's been through it all, and we now can forget it all because she is going to blow all the myths out of the water and teach us about menopause. So, without further ado, Maggie, please tell us about Maggie.
Oh, thank you so much, Carla, for inviting me to be with you. I really appreciate this opportunity to be with you and to address our friends in the Clubhouse. So, about me, you said I've been through it all. So, what happens kind of sometime in our 40s or 50s, it depends on, it can happen earlier, but around about our 40s or 50s, we start to be at the peak of our career. We might have kids in high school and or university, and maybe they're leaving home. So we have all these stressors in our life. And then we also have maybe some elderly parents who need our help or are coming to live with us or, whatever. So we're at the top of the ladder in our career, and all of a sudden we have all these other pressures, stressors in our life. And then what happens is we start first in perimenopause to lose the occasional night's sleep. And then it goes on to become a pattern. And then we lose our sleep. And then the next thing that insidiously happens is we start to gain weight. And we don't know why we're gaining the weight. And we keep not, we're still not sleeping. And what we've noticed is that during the day, we crave more and more coffee, and we start to crave empty carb treats. And we tell ourselves that I need this for energy. I need this to keep going. And we drink more coffee, and we start drinking coffee all through the day. And so that was my life. And I was doing pharmaceutical research, and my dad came to live with me and my husband and my kids. And I was writing something this morning, and I said, I was on the womanly rat wheel, the hamster wheel. And I just couldn't keep it going fast enough. And so I started to fuel myself with coffee and chocolate and things that I had never eaten before. And so, yeah, I've been through it all. I gained the weight, and one day it just struck me that there was nothing in my closet that I could wear anymore. Nothing. I mean, I looked like, I said, a segmented sausage. Everything, and so I just, you can just imagine, I tried to put a suit on to go to a funeral one day, and I couldn't get myself into it. I couldn't get it closed. All my blouses were gaping in the front, everything, you've got, I don't know about you, if you have this expression where you are, but it's called the camel toe. So your dress, so your dress pants have this very unattractive sort of division up the middle. So you can sort of see, so we, in this part of the world, we call that a camel toe. So it is not a smart business look at all. So I was supposed to be going to these really, really high level pharmaceutical development meetings and being like Mrs. Credible. Couldn't carry it. I mean, so that was me. Like I say, I've done it, gained the weight, ate the sweets, it was just crazy. I was out of control. And it didn't occur to me until literally I almost had nothing in my closet that I could wear, that something had to be done. Like I had to put a stop to this. So fast forward.
So let me stop you there for just a second. So you have just described what I know almost every woman in this clubhouse has either gone through and survived by a hair, or is starting to go through and they're looking for help. So my question to you is, I want to back up a second.
Sure.
What credentials do you have that you bring in expertise to the clubhouse on menopause?
Okay, so I have 40 years of nursing. So I get the human body. I tell people in 40 years of nursing, I have worked everywhere from the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, to the cardiac operating room, and everywhere in between. I got into research, which I did for 12 years. So now, if you tell me something or somebody says, oh, I read that on the internet, I'll go, no, I need credibility. You have to prove to me that what you're quoting. So I'm a nurse, I'm a researcher. Then when I went through my body remodeling, I thought, I can do this. So then I went out and I got certified as a personal trainer. Then I got certified as a group fitness instructor. And then I got certified as a yoga instructor. So, and then I started my own business where women were my only clientele. And if you go to my website, liveatmaggiefit.com, you'll see some of the things that I've done for my clients. Like a lot of women end up with all this weight on them. And then their doctors say to them, because mine was at me about it, your blood pressure's going up. Because when you put weight on around your midsection, your blood pressure goes up. And so what I bring to the table here for women is, like I say, 40 years of nursing. So I understand this on a cellular level. Then I went through the battle myself. And then I became a personal trainer. And then that was my business. That's who I worked with, was women.
Awesome. So go ahead and finish what do you remember where you were?
Oh, no, that's okay. I don't want to, I want you to lead the discussion. So you go ahead.
Okay, well, so sometimes, and I remember I was one of those that went through menopause in my early 40s. And the doctors told me I needed a psychiatrist, that I was way too young. And they wanted me to fit in a textbook. And we're all unique individuals. So how would a woman know if she's in perimenopause, and how long can she expect it to last?
Well, the first thing is, you said you were 40. I had a client who went through full menopause at 35, and that was non-surgical. So she didn't have a hysterectomy or anything like that.
Nope.
Her body just basically, your body stops making eggs. So like you only have a certain number of eggs. Your body, will signal to release the eggs. And when you're done, your body just shuts off all the chemical signals. So how would you know? Your periods would probably become irregular. So you might have one and then you might go for a few months, might not have another one, might have a really heavy one. So it's the interval at which you're having your periods changes, and then how heavy they are changes. Some women just get lighter and lighter and tail off, and some women get, they don't have a period for months and then they have a torrential period. So periods get irregular. And the other thing is this not sleeping. And the first couple of times it happens, you just think that's just a one-off. That like that, that was just, because I was away, because I was in a different bed, and you just find an excuse because we just do that.
Right, right.
And so the other things that start to change are sometimes you might have, if you're prone to migraines, you might have migraines start again. Um, you might notice some skin changes. You might, all kinds of things, hair. Some people say that the first way they knew was these hot flashes, like these erratic hot flashes. Like the first time it happens, it really takes you back and you don't know what's happening, but you start to have hot flashes. So hot flashes, irregular periods, heavier, like the sort of the character of your period starts to change. All those are signals. And so I think what women need to do is women need to become their own health advocates.
Absolutely. I agree.
So when you go to the doctor, um, you need to be as well read as you can possibly. So when you walk in there, you know what you want, uh, you know the symptoms that you're having, and people, whether it's perimenopause or going into full menopause, you some of the symptoms are as subtle as itchy. You're itchy, like people talk about you're itchy bitchy and all this stuff. Like, and those are, it's like you could name them, they're like almost like the seven dwarves of menopause.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
sleepy, you require more rest, you do require more rest. Yeah. And
So I think you've answered that menopause is not the same for every woman.
no,
No.
absolutely not. And here's the thing that I am very jealous of. 5 to 7% of all women cruise through it. Like they don't have any symptoms.
Really?
Yeah, but it's like I say, 5 to 7%. And when people have said that to me, and I go, "Yay for you!"
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know if I should share this or not, but
Please, sure.
maybe on the flip side of that statement, where 5 to 7% breeze through it, I did not. I started my period when I was very young, when I was 11, and my entire life you could set the calendar. I was very regular. And then when I started into that period of my life, um, I noted everything on the calendar. So I knew my body frontwards and backwards. And the big problem I went to the doctor with, I had a 10-week period that was like post delivering a baby. I delivered huge clots that looked like liver. I'm sorry to get graphic and gross, but I wonder, do a lot of women go through that type of thing?
Well, I'll just say this. I I spoiled my car one day on my way to work because I had two tampons in and a clot pushed the tampon out and I spoiled the car seat.
Oh
Oh,
man.
it's like it can be horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And when you say, you had basically a 10-week period, I have had clients who have had to be put on some of the same medications that they use to stop bleeding in heart surgery. Like it's called tranexamic acid. And some of my clients, one of them told me I had to go on this because I couldn't stop bleeding, and she was bleeding so far down. I mean, the other thing is, so you pass these big, huge clots, and then again, personal experience, my hemoglobin got down so low. I was supposed to be training for a half a marathon. I was seeing stars going up the hill. It was your hemoglobin, your body can't recover that fast.
No.
And so you have these horrendous periods, and somebody checks your hemoglobin because you can barely put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. I look like the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And,
I mean, I hear you. So when people say, oh, so, you know, like,
Yeah.
what do you know about this? You know what? Been there, done that.
yes. Well, so that brings me to my next question.
Sure.
Are left unchecked, are there health risks associated with menopause?
Absolutely. So we talked about the short-term health risks. So your hemoglobin, when you have these long extended periods, your hemoglobin can, you know, basically rob you so that you, from month to month, you can't replace enough of your red blood cells. So your bone marrow, which is where you produce red blood cells, your bone marrow starts to get robbed and it can't reproduce. So you become, the short term is you will become anemic.
Oh.
So what happens in anemia? You get very short tempered. You know, your heart suffers because basically hemoglobin is the oxygen carrying component of, it's the part that makes your blood red, and it's also the part that carries oxygen. So
Okay.
if you're feeling oxygen starved all the time, it makes you really cranky. And so that's the short term. The long term is women who get into the rut where they're not sleeping, they're eating sweets, they put on weight. So the short term problem with that is putting weight on, as we start to talk about around the midsection, that drives up your blood pressure. If you drive up your blood pressure, you now have increased your risk of heart disease and stroke and type 2 diabetes. So if you don't basically attend to this weight gain, you're going to set yourself up for chronic disease. So, you know, women, I don't know if you know this stat, we lead the nation. We lead in North America for deaths due to heart disease. It's now the #1 killer of women, heart disease.
You know, everything that you just mentioned, I was on the brink of all of them. But it wasn't too late. They wanted to put me on all these meds, and I'm not a med taker, never have been.
Yep.
So that was the catalyst for me to start researching and get my healthy eating and activity lifestyle together.
And for some women, that's what it takes. Like we look after everybody else, we attend to everything else. And then what happens is, like I say, the doctor it's sometimes in the doctor's office that you're brought up short. And yes, you know, the doctor will give you, and that's what, you know, the doctor gave me the ultimatum. Either you start to attend to this, and I call it the menopause mess. You start to attend to the menopause mess, or you're going on medication. And because like he said, I can't let you walk out of here. I've recorded your blood pressure, and I need to be able to say that I attended to your health need. And right now, and I said, no, I am not going on that medication. I'm going to fix this. And so I got busy and I fixed it.
High five to you, sister.
I know. But you know, some people will say it's easier. Some women tell me, you know, it's easier just to take the pills. But then the thing is, and again, back to the testimonials on my website, one of my clients came to me and she was on not one, but 2 medications for blood pressure. So I said to her, okay, we're going to fix that. And most women go, well, really, we're going to fix that? How, like, the doctor gave me this and walked me out the door. And so I'll tell you something. 6 months later, under the direction of the doctor, she was off both heart medications because we gradually worked on her weight and on her, like basically, how do you do that? What, I look at it as the 3-legged stool. So the first leg of the stool is you have to sleep properly, because if you don't sleep properly, you don't eat properly. And then once we get you sleeping properly, you're more inclined to eat properly. So I never, ever, ever set my clients up except that if they're going to have success. So, it's baby steps. I set you up for success. And then the next part is, now that you're feeling a little better, really like starting to feel a little bit more rested, you started to notice the numbers on the scale changing. Now we start to move.
Yes.
And so those are the 3 legs of the 3-legged stool. You have
Awesome.
to get proper rest, nutrition. You talk all the time about the benefits of decent nutrition. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yes.
And then you got to move.
Yep. So Maggie, it has been so wonderful
Thank you.
learning from you. And so if members of the Clubhouse are interested in working with you or have questions, they can post it here in the group.
Yep.
But how can they contact you? I think you gave me.
I think I gave you. So if people say, well, what else has she done? If you go, I sent you a YouTube video.
Yes, I will post that in the group under this video. Yes.
So that's one of 9 free videos that you can find on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, Maggie Rossiter, there's 9 free videos there, and it covers everything from how you get started in exercise, what to eat, what to have for snacks, all that's covered. And then if they have decided that this is enough, I don't want to take medication, or whatever the reason is, that every woman has a reason to get healthy.
Right.
So if you go to my website, so liveitmaggiefit.com.
Okay.
And because as we've all, I think I sent you that.
Yes, yes, I've got it.
Yeah. And so the thing is, people have been saying to me, well, I can't come and see you anymore. I can't come and work with you at your gym. So what do? I decided I'm putting together a program which will be on my website. So you'll start to, people will begin to see, first of all, if they want to get in touch with me and they want to have a talk, there are buttons on my website. It says book a call. So the first thing you want to do is you want to book a call, and people will say, well, when I talked to her, I felt like I was having an assessment. You're going to get a nursing assessment. You get a full body assessment, because I need to know what ground zero is for you. If I don't know where you are, I don't know how I'm going to help you. I need to know this is a real nursing thing. I need to know what medications you're on. This is some of the questions. What medications you're on, and things like, when was the last time you had a bowel movement? Now, if that's not a nursing question, I never heard that. But you know what? Sometimes that's a symptom that there's something the matter with your thyroid, which is all part of this menopause thing.
Lovely, lovely. All right. Well, it has been awesome, Maggie. Thank you so much for taking time out.
Oh,
sharing
my pleasure.
Your expertise with our Flab-U ladies. And Flab-U ladies, I hope that this has been beneficial for you. We kind of went over a little bit. That's my bad. But we will be having 2 members a month interview to share their area of expertise. And as a community, we can look better, feel better, and live our best life after 50. Thanks, guys.